Okay, so we're doing the inventory, getting ready for Adepticon, and what we're looking at here in top left corner is the Droid Cam feed from our Android phone, and this is really the use case, the best use case for this for the phone. Remember in other videos I say something like, it's good to have the phone, but as a camera, but then you can't use the phone, and that's exactly right. But in this case, it's good to have the phone and to not have to use the phone for its phone function, but to use it as a camera function. And it's good to use it right here for this particular use, and that is close up, being able to zoom in and out using software for the Droid Cam feed. And what we're looking at here is Cadian infantry. A lot of this has been modified. These are 3D prints that have been modified. Some of it's FDM and some of it's resin. So some of it's filament and some of it is resin. You can tell the resin by the darker gray. The lighter gray is, I believe, yes, the lighter gray is all filament printing. There are a couple of samples of painted infantry, and what I want to do is I want to show you that, as opposed to showing you back in the painting station. And here you see how it, well, okay, actually it did really well. The camera picked up on the object. Sometimes you have to put see how it can't find the focus, because sometimes you have to put an object behind, so like this. All right, not exactly the best. It's getting there. Let's try a coffee stained. Okay, something that will allow the camera to focus, because it's a blurred or a textured background. So here we see Acadian infantry. I have painted him in Spaceman Spiff. So the just the white space man outfit. Well, actually, because of the way the Cadians are outfitted, these are more like tunics or jackets with pants, and they are wearing, unknown to me why, but they appear to be wearing respirators. So they are wearing terrestrial uniforms, but they have respirator masks, so I'm not entirely sure why that is. Maybe it's a protection, that maybe it's a gas mask. But the fact of the matter is that that's what these guys are. And I don't know if I modified that rifle. I might have. But one of the things is for sure that right out of the box, I should say, the file itself, when you print it, is not exactly always conducive to what you want. So you do have to do some modification, especially if it's an FDM print. You have to finagle how that print is on the platen, because sometimes it will just create issues, how you put it down. And I can't speak to how I did this because it was a while ago. But what I'm doing here is trying to get a good paint scheme. Now this is the white guy, looking like a Hoth infantryman. Let's look at other painting ideas. This is a squad. All right, so this squad is carrying silver painted or metallic painted weapons, which, as you can see, may or may not, and again, you can see the striations because this is a filament print. It's not a resin print. You'll see the difference in a moment. But you can see the difference in these guys for the color. I'm not entirely sure that, you know what, I don't like that. Let's do this again. Um, I'm not entirely sure. You know what? It's just not stiff enough. I need a. All right. But you get the idea. So these guys are more the Cadian paint scheme: green, 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 and green, and then silver weaponry. So let's go to the back. And they're 10 millimeter. They're 10 to 20. Actually, no, they're more like 15 to 20 millimeter scale. You can see that they don't necessarily have to be that detailed because really they're so small. Painting them with any great detail is just literally practically, and that's not because I'm older, but it's just almost like a waste of time. Because no one cares really. Not anymore, not like they used to. So just paint them basically and get them on the table. And I should speak, right? Because I haven't done that. And look at all these guys I haven't done. All right, we'll wrap this up. I'll show you what. Here's a green guy, by the way. Is that a filament? Okay, this is a resin print guy. First thing you'll notice is the lack of striations of the layers. Right? Huge, huge difference. So that's a green, right? A lime green. Yeah. Now here is a gray spaceman in a hazmat suit type of look. And that's a resin print. So we will call these guys basically, you know, heavy infantry. But they're in this futuristic setting of Hex Command Nova, you're either light or you're heavy. In other words, you've got a whole bunch of weapons with you, or you don't. And you're basically a scout or a skirmisher, or you're trying to get in and get out of a situation, so you're very light and fast. This guy clearly is not. And he's obviously, I forget who the artist was, but you can see it was a basic kind of a spaceman infantry with a laser pulse huge rifle. I mean, that thing is very big for that guy. And I didn't modify this either. That's the way it was. All right, so there's where we're at, and we'll come back. Oh, by the way, there's one thing I wanted to show you. There's an interesting, in one of these downloads, there's an interesting figure. It's like a mech, but it's like a baby mech. Or maybe I made it a baby mech. I don't remember. But this guy's kind of cool. I put some weapons on him, or no, I didn't. This is how he comes. I may have just increased the size. But it's an automaton, so there's no pilot, or there actually can be a pilot. It's either or. There's a space for a pilot in there, but generally the intention is to operate as an AI or self-determining bot, if you will. You see he's got a kind of a pulse, a dual barrel pulse rifle on his right arm, but the main function of this guy is actually cargo moving, so you'd see him in a base, but in this particular case they've got him like a base defender with that little twin-barreled pulse laser, if that's what it is. Doesn't matter. It's a pew-pew, right? Pew-pew. Anyway, so this guy's kind of cool. I like him because, well, here's the, in context, here's the size of infantry. Oh, and you know what? I didn't tell you these guys. I didn't show these guys. These guys are a lighter green. And this is an interesting contrast because these guys actually show off different colors better. So the lime green, I mean, you got to imagine this on a game table, is a little bit more interesting as opposed to this, and that's why I did this. I mean, this on the game table and this on the game table, what can you see better? Obviously, the lighter green wins. All right, so then last thing I want to show, you've seen this in other videos, this is a big howitzer type cannon. This is a messed up situation. It was FDM printed. I'm never doing that again when it comes to these kinds. I'm amazed that barrel came out that well on an FDM printer, but I'm never doing FDM when it comes to these kinds of things again. It's everything's going to be resin when it comes to this. The infantry guys, not so much of an issue, but when it comes to these guys, you know, the mold itself or the sculpt itself had issues I didn't realize because I couldn't see them. So the gun, although yes, I know it looks like an American 76 or a potential carriage for a 17-pounder, the fact, or even Russian, but the fact is it's a 105 heavy artillery howitzer in a direct fire shape. So it's firing, well, you could say that's indirect, but that's really low trajectory for the barrel. Here's the same thing, but smaller version of it. Actually, no, these are two the same. Here's a smaller version of it right there, like a little anti-tank gun. All right, so that's it, and I'll come back and get some more of this inventory going.